Okay, we're live now. We're live. Okay, Chance, let's go. Starting now.
Internet. Is that Jordan? But hello, internet.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Threeman Press, where we have come together as three of the brightest minds in African football. People are fighting that. I don't know why. Some of our conversations are incredible. I don't get it. But anyway,
they really are fire.
On the left-hand side, I've got Lindo Pep here, and then Football Telefang on this side. If you're looking for me, it's Overthinking Football on all platforms. Shout out to Sports Pesa, sponsor Setu.
Oh yeah, I've got a...
Yeah, sponsor Setu, and also to Omni Audio, who we are partnered with on this.
Doesn't look nice like this, my man. I gotta for the baddies, bro. Continue story. Continue story, man.
Guys, it's International Week. Club football has ceased for a little bit.
Trash.
We're going back into the world, so it's only right that we speak about what's happening with our national team. Now, one of the things that we have to speak about as a country, where do we go from here? Ngoba inevitably, Hugo Bruce's contract is going to come to an end. He's spoken about taking us to the World Cup, which he said he's going to do. After that, we don't quite know where we're going to go from there. So, Mina, I want to know from you guys, first and foremost, very quickly, where do you feel South African football is right now? And where do you think it should be going after this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm bully someone. I think bully is growth. Hi, Kev. Hi, Gareth.
What is happening
Beating
right
the
now?
bosses.
What is happening right now?
And then Nguli Sintwana Yami, Usabza, Nguli Sumtu.
What is happening right
I'd
now?
like to send the shout-outs to...
Nguli Sutalifang.
And many more.
Nguli Selecho Chinyo, but Ngibiza Kamnandi, but Ngibiza Chinyo. Other than that,
Who's Chicho?
no, I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at them. I'm thinking to myself, these are the guys that actually pay our bills.
What's happening, Lindo? Focus on the topic.
I am.
Yeah, this man.
Rapport.
Busy.
The episode is just started.
Busy protocol.
Ask me.
Observing protocol.
How do we feel about the national team right now, where we are, and where do you think we should be going?
You go first, Lalifang.
First and foremost, I don't think... I'm a bit bothered by something.
Okay.
Right, as football in general. So as you know, there's a last week I heard Gaten McKenzie give out the numbers as how much everybody's going to be getting in terms of money, in the for qualifying and whatever. Obviously they gave what's this? South Africa Bafana 5 million. Great, 5 million. Then they give Banyana 1 million, which is the same amount that they're giving Amachimbos. Right. And I'm like, Banyana gets 1 million. Wife winners are getting 1 million. Yet the team that just qualified and is so great just to qualify gets the most amount of money. So that is indicative of where the football is. Nothing has changed. Nothing's going to change. Right? So even if we've qualified, we're not going to win, obvious.
Hey, man.
We're not going to win.
I got flack for saying we could win.
No. You wanted us to win. You want us to win.
Yeah.
But we're not going to win. This World Cup, we're not going to win. Like, realistically speaking, there's nothing that shows me that we're actually going to win the World Cup. It's great to qualify, but to win it is no, right? So what I see is going to happen is just like that year. Is it 2020 plan that SAFA had on their website? The road to 2020 or something like that. Just like that, that's going to be us after Hugo Bruce.
Oh, Lindo.
Maybe let me start by saying emotions don't play football. So the next coach, and this is credit to Safa for the work that they've done, not just Bafana, but from Utezre Ali to Veli Kumalo to Raymond Ndaka. Initially, you would question the kind of coaches that do get employed at Bafana because he comes in, they come to our to our local clubs, and they don't do as well as they're expected, because generally international coaches should be, or rather let me say, if you are an international coach, you should have the qualities and the capabilities of coaching the biggest football clubs in this country. And I think that's one of the reasons why Umli Fenseki got a Kaizer Chiefs job, because if you've been a national team coach, we assume that you've handled the biggest dressing room in the country. You've been in the biggest hot seat in the country. So you understand the expectation of not just only a football club, but of a nation. So for me, the next coach becomes very crucial.
Just quickly, let Molefenseki get the Safa job and the Kaizer Chiefs job, or the Kaizer Chiefs job then the Safa job.
Safa job, and the Kaizer Chiefs, then back to Safa again.
Then back to he's at Safa right now.
So now, being the coach of the national team, what made him qualified to coach the national team before he coached his shift?
He came through the ranks. National. I think he was the under 20, under 21, under 17.
From under 16.
Yeah, he coached all of them.
Nabo Zipodlangalala as well as Zabo Tabosinong.
Yes. So he coached through the ranks.
Yeah.
And seemingly lasted how long in the job?
2
and achieved
years,
what?
I think 2-3 years.
Was a year or two.
People will correct us
Yeah.
in the comment section.
Okay, so
That's
he
what
goes
we
through
were-
the ranks. He lost 2 years, pretty much fails. Can we say that our ranks are not good enough to coach? Doesn't build good enough coaches to coach?
Oh,
Bafana
yes,
Bafana.
alarm.
You know what the thing is with the previous coaches. I just feel like also in South Africa, this is the problem and the challenge that we've always had. And this is one thing that in Brazil they master, where we bring in development coaches to senior football. I believe like Kwanele Kop, Tabosinong, Molifenseki, Raymond Mudaka, Veli Kumalo. It would be a big mistake to take Veli Kumalo and make him an assistant coach at Kaizer Chiefs. I believe he's one of the best development coaches we have in terms of talent identification and training real methods. There's methods that each and every single coach is taught and they have and they carry, and also plenty gift as well, coaching. So for me, I believe there's people who are gifted and talented in that space of just development football. We should not bring those people into senior football. And that's what Hugo Bros has, I believe, above most of the coaches that we used to have, is that yes, it's got the eye, your talent identification, because you guys will play perform and then the quality, but it's got this edge of always wanting to win, because it seems like he does have these capabilities of wanting to be a serial winner, because you can see in the record, numbers don't lie. He's the most successful coach, I think, after Clive Parker.
But are those numbers really real numbers compared to who we played? Are those numbers what
That's not
inflated?
the argument right now. That's not the argument, because I think let's focus on the positivity, in my opinion. And the positivity is he's done a good job. Let's ride with that narrative.
So this is where I want to take the conversation. When we look at a Hugo Bruce successor,
Yeah.
I think you've got two options. One of the options is going to be somebody local. You
Yeah.
bring in a beat, so you bring up somebody from here.
Yeah.
And then there's also then looking at people who are international. Maybe three options, actually. There's three options. There's the local option that you bring in.
Yeah.
There's the international options that have only done well in Africa, similar to Hugo Bruce. Hugo Bruce's pedigree comes from Cameroon in 2017, things like that. And then you have truly international coaches, right? Where should we go and where should South Africa be looking? Because Khalifan just made the point right now about the World Cup, or we're going to the World Cup, seemingly to just make up numbers. Should that be a focus now for South Africa to say, okay, 2030, 2034, well and truly we want to be an international powerhouse? Or is it a case also valid that we're sitting here and saying we first have to conquer Africa for a little bit, stamp our authority on Africa before looking out? And I think those are things that are going to influence which coach we bring in. So where do you guys sit in terms of that?
For me personally, I don't know if Khalifan wants to add something.
No, you can go. Go.
For me, George, I think that we don't have time. I was going to make the same example with Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, that they're going through the same process. Bafana had to build a team first.
Okay.
That was the first layer of the foundation, that we had to build a team. I like what Hugo Bros said, because he explained his game model in a single or two sentences. When he said, the first thing is I know quality. I come from Belgium. I played football. I played in the World Cup. I played high pressure games of consequence. I know a quality of a player, but I also want the right mentality. And for me, the mentality matters most, because the group is important. You listen to Abo Ronza, and maybe this might answer the question of why Lodge is not there. You listen to Ronza speak. He says on the show that I was listening to Gupra Mahlatsi in Abotlowi, he says, Urile Magafika in the dressing room, he just beat us last week, but he had the right mentality. That's why we, even about Tabes, I went to speak to the coach to say, play the boy. because of why he gelled in the group. He didn't feel like Ngati is bigger than anyone else. So those are the elements that Hugo brought. He brought dynamics that are very positive in the dressing room. He made sure that he selects players not just only on merit, but also on quality and mentality and experience, and as well as output. Because most of those players have a lot of output in terms of Abombogas, in terms of Aborila, Abonkota, and so on and so on. And you need to give these football clubs credit. So for me, Hugo Process laid a foundation. He's laid a blueprint of saying, what kind of a right back and a left back do we need? We've got Umdao, you've got Umatulud. You can see it's typical identical players. He wants a player that's good defensively in terms of 1v1, full back. He wants somebody who knows how to defend with the line, who can play double position in terms of inverting and overlapping, but also wants a player that's got quality in the final third. You look at Matuludi, what is his profile? He's exactly that. He plays almost like a winger when he gets into the final third. Umdao can improve that quality, but he's got it over vibe. One of the best in the country. Left back, similar. Opri offers you the same quality. Also, more check my full back. I choose our Hugo Pros. He always has an element of choosing one cent full back who has the quality of playing inside. Because he's smart enough to understand that in an international game, sometimes you need to make the pitch narrow, where you don't need full backs that play flat. But flat. You need full backs that play inside and have the quality. You go to defend at shorter spaces. He has the intelligence of judging and knowing players like Abu Opri that Opri, you don't allow him to defend a larger space. You allow him to defend a smaller space. You bring him inside. Where you bring him inside, that space is a little bit shorter for him to defend, rather than putting him there where he has a larger space in terms of hook defend. So he's got those qualities. You can see typically he likes a taller centre back.
Yeah.
Not taller centre backs. He likes midfielders who are a little bit taller.
Okay.
The profile is already there.
But is this profile going to work truly international? Because to Talefang's point, the foundation seems to be a foundation that maybe works in Africa.
So this is what I was about to say.
And we haven't quite tested it.
This is what I was about to say. You spoke about aim for the moon, land on the stars, right?
Aim for the stars,
yeah.
No. The stars are fair.
Are they really? Are the stars better than the moon?
Chief.
Okay, it's fine. I'm not an astronomer. Anyways, so cool. So in this analogy, the World Cup International is the stars. You land on the moon, Africa. I say we don't focus on Africa. We don't focus on that. The aim is to focus on trying to challenge on the international stage.
But let's be honest, Talifang, in football.
But wait,
you're a football coach. I know you're gonna land.
I'm even wait. You go and you challenge for international. By virtue of that's the highest standard, that's the highest level of competition. Right? Agreed. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Now if you go, my thought is if you try and attack internationally, eventually by law of averages, you will get better in terms of competing at a continental stage. So my focus is not say we must focus on conquer Africa. No, let's try focus and conquer internationally first. Before Africa will then as time goes on, it'll correct itself. That's my thought.
I think, my best belief is you first think of doing well in Africa. In football, George, you focus on each and every game. This is my general feeling sometimes as pundits. And I like this thing, but I also need to bring myself as a football coach and bring my sense in the pitch. Sometimes, Talifang, you're a football coach. You never ever focus on the final, or you never ever focus on the last game of the season. No. It's always about the next game and the next game and the next game and the next game.
Yes.
And I would like to believe that's how the national team and Hugo Bros is thinking. Yes, he's got long-term plans to say this is what we want to achieve, like any other football club or any other national team. But I can tell you now, the objective is to do well in the AFCON, in the immediate, because the immediate experience, belief, as well as the assurance. Mm-hmm. You understand that? Because performance is the most important thing in international football, because you don't have time to train. You understand?
Which I hear that chat.
Yes, for sure.
But my thing is, when you are playing, let's say as a player, when you have players in your team that are at a level 9, this is 90, they are the ones. Yeah. The ones that are at level 5 will get better, will they not? They'll move as they keep playing with these people that are better. Yeah. Eventually, as time goes on, through experience, they can move to a level 6, 6.5, 7 perhaps, right, when you play with better. That's my chat. The World Cup is level 9. Africa is level 5. Yeah. If we aim and start playing and aim for that World Cup, that level 9, as time goes on, we will supersede the Africa, which is we get to a level 6, 7. That's my chat. So we have to go against the best. Africa is not the best. Even if we conquer and we win the AFCON, win the AFCON, January, can you honestly say in 2030, 34, we can actually possibly go to the semi-finals of that?
So
Do you know what's the difference, George, now?
Yeah.
We're no longer hoping. We have an expectation now.
Okay.
Then we used to hope to do something. Now we expect. That's the difference. The word hope and expect. And for me now, I don't hope that Bafana Bafana will win the AFCON. I expect them. And which is a big thing. I expect us to win it. If not Morocco, then why not us? I'm asking those questions to the players, to the national team, because number one, I believe in those players. I believe in the technical team. I believe in the coach. I believe in the structure. Can it be better? For sure. But for me, the other question when we go to the World Cup is not, I hope we can win a football game. I expect us to win a football game. And that's the big change in the national team. For me, that's why the next coach, it becomes important. He comes into the job where the country is no longer hoping. The country is expecting.
But expecting what?
What exactly?
I
To
think
win. George, we used to hope to win a football game. We used to hope to score.
Yes, sentiment has changed, for sure.
No, 100%.
Now we expect.
But do those things correlate? Because, for example, Morocco finished fourth. Because it was 2022. They finished fourth. They got beaten by Bafana, AFCON. We've had plenty of teams that have won AFCON and did nothing at the World Cup. We haven't seen them.
Exactly.
And there's also, I think, the question internally in the continent is, inside we can win inside, but outside, has there been a team that can go outside and play? Because another thing that we don't speak about is that AFCON football, African football, is very different to international football. What's expected from players when they play in an AFCON, you know how we speak about it. It's power, it's physical, it's what.
Yep.
That is never quite translated to the world.
Yes.
So is it a place where now we have to sit down and choose? You may do badly in an AFCON because you're no longer looking at... do you know what it's like? It's like Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns got to a point where they were going, hey guys, and I believe this is why Cardoso was in. They got to a crossroads where they went, yeah, Simnandi, but it's not translating when we're going up
we're
there.
a systematic team.
Yeah.
You know, yes, we've got the coding system, but we just need an upgrade.
And now the upgrade, the question of the upgrade was, do you continue with a local upgrade and say, I will trust the Rulani up
Precisely.
until a point where he wins it? Or do you go, now we're going to go to Cardoso or somebody who's been up there and we say, hey, dog, guide us to the promised land. I think that is where we're sitting with South African football right now. And like I said, I think Hugo Bruce is a happy medium in that he's an international coach, but let's be honest, he hasn't done much internationally. In Africa, it's great. We see a lot of those guys. You know, those guys, Bobo have Hervé Renard, those guys who fall into the continent and they dominate the continent. Now, is it a case where then we go back and say, I don't know, Rulani Ntwana, Zwagala, we're going to trust you. We're going to back you as somebody who understands the football, who knows who comes from inside? Or do you now go completely outside and say, I don't know, root crawl, I'm just using an example of Pirates, come through and take us into international waters, or what we did under Carlos Pereira and Santana, we wanted to go all the way. What does that crossroads look like for us right now?
You know what I'm feeling, and this is a very important question, and some of my best interviews I've given was ones where when I really cooked is when I'm unprepared, because there's a lot of critical thinking. You know what you're saying now, you're keeping me on my toes, because I'm thinking about it as you're speaking now, that I think what makes Morocco actually really special is exactly that.
They're not African.
Okay, yeah.
Like that,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
It's okay. But the Coach Peter said they're 20 years above or beyond whatever that we can achieve as a nation in South Africa. And I think that what they identified, Khalifang, is exactly what George is asking, is because African football is so physical, and the World Cup, you play with different profiles and different systems and different styles of play. We're playing against speed. You're playing against the will. You're playing against legacy. You're playing against pragmatic. You're playing against so many of these things, right? Not just only the tactical. Sometimes you're playing against the psychological, which is what I'm mentioning, the legacy, the will, and so on. And for me, other than what's happening on the pitch sometimes, Morocco has identified that maybe sometimes we have to be physical. Sometimes we have to be super tactical in terms of finer margin details. We have to have super technical players who can kick both left and right aerial threat. All of those finer details in terms of Because when you watch their application and how they play and how they attack African football, and the most successful teams in African football are the ones that were one-dimensional, pragmatic, counter, physical. Right? And South African football brings in a different element, which is a total football where we put it down on the ground, but we still have those players in the middle of the park. We still have an Obas, we still have a Tebza who can be physical. You still have Toby Vala. That's why players like that are important. And I feel how I've structured the national team is to suit actually exactly those characteristics and those conditions, where you have Ama fullbacks who have height now. We never used to have that in the national team. You've got Ukabin, who's introduced. I think one of the reasons why he's there is because of his height. Ukunuman Ndamase is there. Obas, Yaya Tore, I think Ustole, he's there because of his height. Evidence Mahopa, he's crucial because when you're playing in Africa and in international football, for example, a typical way is you need your strongest headers off the ball when you're post. Where do you want to evidence Mahopa when you defend the corner? You put him there, he's the strongest header of your ball. You add him there in that defensive organization. So for me, from a technical, that's why he brought Abu Jaden Adams, he brought Abu Pesita, Abu Mohankot, Abu Rilem Fukeng to add that element of X factor and individual brilliance. How we defend, the type of goalkeepers we have as well. We can play long, we can play short. Uronza's got both qualities. Maybe he doesn't show that at Sundowns, but Uronza can pick a pass. He can pick a 30-meter pass. So we can play that variation.
Where do you stand here?
I'm standing with the fact that...
Are you saying, are we supposed to, like George was asking, must our focus be on conquering Africa or must our focus be on international?
My focus should be conquering Africa with one eye into global football. That we can do something really special.
So are you saying that conquering Africa will set us up to be able to compete?
Either way. What I am saying...
Are you saying that it's going to?
It's going to. It's going to. I'm
but
very positive.
Has that proven to be the case? And George said it has proven not to be the case.
It's not proven to be the case.
So what are you basing it on?
I'm basing it on the... Is it being biased? Maybe. Maybe not. But I'm basing on what I've seen. I'm basing on the fact that we are third. I'm basing it on the fact that under 17 success, under 20 success. I'm basing it on the fact that I've seen us qualify for the World Cup. Other than that 3 points, we've qualified very well. I've seen our players grow. I've seen the quality in our players. I've seen the mentality.
So
for me, it's important for us to conquer Africa, which is what I expect. That's why I say I'm not hoping, I'm expecting for us to conquer Africa. And I am expecting us going into the World Cup. I wasn't expecting, not hoping, us to do something really special. And what is special to us as a nation, if being realistic, quarterfinals is a huge success for us. Is a possibility for sure. Those 6 games. Isn't that 6 games?
Okay.
Just 6 games. We should be well.
I want to ask Khalifang, the point that I guess you're trying to go to as well, and I want to ask you this. Is it a case of us as South Africans being comfortable with what we've done? Because the last time we played a big country,
yes,
we lost 5.
Against France, no?
And up to this point, we've made sure not to go that way. Hugo Bruce has said that we're not going there because confidence is going to kill us. Do you think it translates, or do you think that it's just us being happy with what we're doing locally?
Look, this is why, being able to have the record that Hugo Bruce has, we don't take it lightly. Ne? But the numbers don't tell you everything. Because like you were saying, the quality of opposition, as much as we haven't lost, but the quality of opposition skews narrative and makes it seem as if we actually can compete internationally. And I think that's false. Because as you're saying, the opponents we're facing do not set us up to be able to compete internationally, specifically this World Cup. Like, if you know the games that we're going to be playing, we're going to be facing, is it Zambia?
What is competing in a South African context now for us going into the World Cup? What is competing to us?
So forget for us. My thing is, I want us as a country yes, we've qualified for the World Cup, but not to just add numbers. To ensure
we're not going there to add numbers.
To ensure that we are not there to add numbers is to prepare us properly to compete with international teams, which we have not done. Even now, we're going to be facing Zambia. Other countries are facing Argentina. Other countries are facing Japan. We're facing Zambia.
It will happen.
Happen when? Why has it not happened?
Sometimes football is about momentum as well, right? Football is about momentum. For me, there's so many things that are happening in the national team that I don't agree with. There's so many things I would want to improve in the national team, but not everything is as bad as it looks. We are the bronze medalists. We are the former. We are
is
third.
not-
We are the third best in Africa. And for me, the most positive that I've seen in our country is not the technical, is not the tactical, most especially in those players, is the mentality of those players. Each and every single one of those players. When I see the dressing room dynamics, lucky enough, I've got the privilege that I do get phone calls and I do talk to some of the boys that are in the national team. I've never in my entire life, I speak to about, so I hang around with these players, some of these players where you feel that we've had a golden generation, so many of those players. And when they speak about this generation, the first thing that they tell you is the mentality of those boys.
That's
And
all
for me,
great.
and for me, that gives me the positiveness to say,
Okay, no.
Look, what you're saying is not wrong.
Mhm.
The sentiment around the country
yeah,
has been positive. And it is due to the results we've had, the mentality, the belief we have as a country. But what I'm arguing here is that what you're basing this positivity on, is it accurate enough for us to compete at an international tournament and actually come as quarterfinals?
Yes.
Because as
Yes.
you've just mentioned, the last team that we faced that was of high quality was France, and that was 5.
that is the challenge. That is the challenge. That is what we need to achieve. That is the next step in the Hugo Bros project, in my opinion, because he's laid the foundation, like I said.
Yeah.
The reason why you have to give him credit for what he's done and what those players have done, we needed to build a team first. Kalifang, we did not have a team.
Can I
Because
just,
my
And
chat
that's
is-
why we needed to play who we played and
Guys-
beat whoever we beat. And
Wait,
that
wait,
was
wait.
successful.
Yeah.
That was successful because it's Tati Laspega number 3.
Great. Ne?
It's successful. And now, and every team has an evolution. Now the national team has to evolve now as well. And the next evolution in the national team is exactly that. Now after AFCON, I will come here and say, if we don't play Brazil, Argentina, Portugal, and all of those things, then where are we going as a nation?
Isn't that too
But that is
close,
the
though?
next progression for me.
What if we're found wanting directly
So
after?
this is my chat. This is my chat, right?
Yeah.
Is that our belief is based on a weak foundation. That's why I'm saying the numbers and the results we've gotten against who we've gotten it against has given us a belief that is on a shaky foundation.
do you know what I'm scared of?
It's there. The belief is there. The belief is there. Like what George was even saying. Once after the World Cup, after
So many people-
after AFCON, we're going
Can
to
I
play.
just-
There's a lot of
whoever.
people that can agree with you.
Can I just jump in?
There's
for-
so
for-
many
for
people
a
that can
second?
agree with you.
Can I just jump
But
in
I
for a
don't.
second? Here's my thing. What I worry about with South Africa is that, number one, we think there's time. I think we think that
Yes.
we're thinking in a place where Debsa's going to give us 8 years or however long, you know. And there's no guarantee that the next crop of players will be as good as these guys. I mean, think about the factors that affected these guys now. Not only is it Hugo Bruce, guys, they're coming from Sundowns. When I interviewed Josta Dladla, he said, "Oh, chairman used to come into our dressing room and say, 'Hey guys, Nina, you are the best ever, and I expect you to perform there.'" So that culture also influenced, I think, some
Yes.
of Bafana to have those guys coming from a place where they were trying to compete at a high level, for example. So my worry is, again, number one, time. That I think we're doing that thing where we go Vision 2038, for example, and it's like, guys, you don't know how long this is going to last. And then number two, when Hugo Bruce goes, my worry is that Hugo Bruce is the head of the whole thing.
Yes.
And we haven't done enough to make sure that everybody else going down is the same. It feels like, and it's going to sound harsh, but it feels like we're in a lucky time in South African football, where it's lucky that our under-17s are doing what they're doing. It's lucky our under-20s are doing, because they're not prepared. They don't play friendlies. They don't do all of those things. Bafana, not that it's lucky, but it's still contained in what we're doing well, right? It's still very contained. I'm scared that the moment you remove Hugo Bruce, right, we either go back to Carlos Alberto Pereira times, or we go back to Mulifintseki times. And I know these are extremes, but if I could ask you, gents, have we done enough to make sure right now that post-World Cup will be fine?
Yeah, this is the
That's
challenge.
the
Or
challenge.
Are we
for
still,
me.
are we
Because-
still hanging on Bruce?
So that's the thing. Ne? It's a thing of, like you're mentioning, it's giving Sir Alex Ferguson at United. The moment he left,
Yeah.
it's okay. Now what? Because he is the brains. He's the brainchild of everything that was Man United. We give credit to Hugo Broos for sure. He made sure that we thrive, we win, right? We qualified. We got third. We qualified for the World Cup. We went to the AFCON. Simple, great things. But like what George is asking, with this golden generation, will we end up like Belgium? We've got a golden generation of players, but then what?
You know what I'm feeling? You know what kind of coach we need? Ne? We don't need a tactician. We don't need a modern coach. And mangiti modern, we need a modern, okay, let me correct myself. Let me rephrase this so that it sounds good. I don't think that we need a tactician. And I hope this lands well. And I hope I articulate myself that it lands well. By tactician, I mean the national team will never thrive with the tactician. There's a reason why I'm a national team coach or older coaches. You need more of a philosopher. You need more of a father figure. You need more of a role player. For me, tacticians in the national team should be analysts and the assistant coaches and so forth. The national team coach should be more of a father figure. And that's the kind of coach we need to profile. That's why I'm saying, even now, Coach Rulani, even though I know personally that's the goal. That's the end goal, to coach the national team. But I don't think he's the next right succession after Hugo Broos. I think the coach after Hugo Broos, after him, then Rulani, going into the 2038 World Cup. 2038. But let me learn quickly with this. For me, one of the reasons why we need that succession plan, because we've got a lot of young players that are coming through into the national team. Give the responsibility of being a tactician to Abo Patela. Maybe you promote them there, who speak really big in terms of development football and speaking tactical football. But in terms of managing the squad, being responsible for the final nail in the coffin, I believe that you need an older coach, an experienced coach, somebody who knows how to win. And I believe that for me, the perfect coach now, it would be rather other than Upito Musemane for me to succeed. And I know that people will say Pierre Capito is on another level, but for me, Upito, what he provides other than the tactical part of the game, I think is exactly that. It's the father figure role. And also the mentality will not drop. The intensity of the team will not drop from a performance perspective because he's a high standard man. One of the most successful coaches we have in African football. It would be nice to go to the next World Cup as well, George, in 2034 with a South African coach. I'm just saying.
So do you want somebody who knows South African football? Because I think the advantage of Bruce to a degree was that he was a bit separate from what we were doing. So he was able, even with the... We'll even speak about the power that international coaches tend to get, the control they tend to get given by SAFA. Do you think that you need somebody who is inside South African football or understands South African football, or do you need somebody who can be truly objective and come in and be like, "Aye, guys"?
I think we need a profile. I don't think we need a name. And I'm just
no. I'm saying,
I know.
Should the person care about South African football?
Yes, of course you need to care. You need to care. There's South African youth. There's our brothers there. You know, and we know the difficulties what my brother and your brother goes through in terms of development in this country.
But what do you mean when you say care? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean they must care?
Understand, know the landscape of what South Africa, know that there's 9 provinces. And in those 9 provinces, Ntwana yase Limpopo, Ntwana yase KZN, Ntwana yase Val, Ntwana yase Soweto, Ntwana yase East Ifan.
But isn't this thing a results-based business?
Wait.
It is, but...
Results and performance.
But for you to get the best, I think that's what Hugo understands, is that...
Does he, though?
I think he does.
Has he done
He's more
that?
have you... Listen to... Your answer is in my plane. Listen to how the players...
No, but even those players, I how do I put it? I don't think Hugo, for example, let's talk about development.
I think one of the reasons why he's successful is because he taps into the psychological part of the players.
Cool, but let's talk about what you spoke about with knowing Intuan and all of that stuff. I don't think Hugo has tapped into that. We haven't seen under 23s, under 20s, under 17s, or people like that actually get a look. Even the guys that make it in, it's the guys that make it in at club level. Like, for example, what's his name? Mbogazi. Mbogazi jumps into the national team because he does well at Pirates. Pirates did that.
But he gets into the national team and Hugo Broos know exactly how to treat the young man.
No, I get you. But he's not... I think it goes back to the point I was making about have we built a structure? Because for me, Hugo's still helicoptering at the top. I don't think he interacts with all of the other things outside of the ones that pop up, go PSL. You get what I mean? If it's not
I think he's very involved. I think Hugo, I think he's very involved.
But has he shown it? That's what I'm saying.
Based on what?
I'm I'm taking this and I'm trusting what I'm seeing from the players. And
No, I hear you, but
You know
even
what
the
I'm
players you're speaking about, Bomudiba, Boronwen, Bobangmang,
Nemtajela, for example, Hugo has given each and every single, not each and every single, he's given most players an opportunity.
Mara
And
Obuya,
Ukaya
Punemtanjela.
Ichanse one.
Based on what?
Maro Nemtanjela, is it coming from Hugo Bruce seeing him
At Pirates, of
under
course.
20?
At
and
Pirates,
saying,
no,
"Oh,
at
call me
Pirates.
Ntwana go under 20."
At Pirates, of course.
That's why I'm saying that has he interacted with the development the way you're saying? And is it
important?
Is it the national team coach's job to do that?
Even if he hasn't done that to the fullest, but I'm saying, George, he stayed enough into the country. And for me, one of the things that he's achieved successfully is to tap into the psychology of those players. And one of the reasons why I think he's successful is because he understands that a player that plays at Pirates is completely different to a player that plays at Mamelodi Sundowns, Polokwane City. And that's why he's been able to build a team. Because he understands not just he probably understands those clubs as well. He's an old man.
No,
Hugo
I hear
is
you.
probably not even on social media. Minomatala was probably the most intelligent person that has ever lived. Yes, maybe Bakona Banyabomatal. He was so knowledgeable. And I'm assuming Mangpegu Hugo Pros and how he carries himself and the respect that obviously I have as him as a man. He reads newspapers, he reads stuff. And they're not like us where it's artificial intelligence, it's AI.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's given himself enough time to
But
study.
that's where I'm saying that this sounds like this is Hugo Bruce's brain.
Yeah.
It's not
South
SAFA
Africa.
or South African football having built around his brain. So even when you speak about the archetype of what he's building, who is coming up next
But George,
to continue the archetype?
Can I learn, George?
Yeah.
Hugo Bros is one of the architects that are building the national team, right?
No,
and for me,
yeah.
yes, wait. Hugo Bros is one of the architects. When you bring in a foreign coach into the national team, we are expecting him to be a ceiling raiser. And you're expecting to steal, in football we steal a lot of things. We're expecting to steal some of the policies, the strategies and how he works and implement those things into your project. Konamanje me, and personally, I've been asked to design a football program in KZN. I'm going there, I'm going to fly there for a week, spend time there and implement those things. They might, some they might not like, some they might like, but they might take and implement and add them into their program and they run with the program. And that's exactly what the Hugo Bros is coming to do. And that's exactly what SAFA needs to do, to say, okay,
exactly. But
yes, maybe we did not have this, and we are taking this policy, this strategy, and we are implementing.
But that's what I'm
when
saying.
we get the next coach, this is the profile.
Is there one?
But next year, Peli contract. I think I think it's next year. If they were talking about these things November 2025, will they be implemented come end of the World Cup June to the level where the next person can build on top of these things?
George, I think that we need to question it. I don't think it's the right time to question now. We need to question them after Hugo Bros when they start making those decisions to say, hello, we had Hugo Bros who gave us a blueprint.
But
what is happening
now? Because my worry,
but Hugo Bros is still there.
Yeah, but you start that before.
I know that.
I hope they've started it.
That's what I'm saying. I hope so. Because George, if they don't, then we question.
But we're not seeing it. So I would have loved to see now Coach Vela Kumalo sitting on the bench of Bafana Bafana with Hugo Bruce right now.
Yes.
I would have loved to see those things happen. I mean, we've complained about Kosafa, where we say the Kosafa team is coached by anyone. Yeah, but anyone. It's been Ramu Rebuli in Hugo Bruce's time. It's been Hellman at some points.
Yeah.
There's no through line there. And the reason why I'm asking also is Hugo Bruce's advantage for me is two things. He came into a place where I don't think he knew our football deep enough, so he could see it objectively. He could come in and say, guys, mina lento ni kulmayo na lento elana, I don't see.
Yeah, that's true.
I will change things as I see fit.
Yes.
Number one, but then number two, I think he was given the leeway from Safa and those guys. So when you speak about local coaches, Klalefan, we've seen Coach Pizzo come in.
Yes.
We've seen Gordon Eggerson come in.
Yes.
We've seen them strangled, number one, not being allowed to do certain things, number one. But then number two, do you think that they would be too close to our football? That, they always say about Coach Pizzo, he knows every little play and all of that stuff. If then we haven't been able to take that into the world, do you then allow a local coach to come in and have biases and ideas and stuff like that.
That thing is also a Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates because they also feel the same.
But
you ask Upra Freud as well when you have conversations with Upra Freud.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
I was just.
So, I think having a local coach has its advantages, obvious. Like Unindoguthle said, okay, no, you understand the type of players, where they come from, you're able then to relate to them. When you relate to them, you can then maybe put them in the best situation, but in a South African context, right? Sometimes when you are local, you see the picture's a bit too close to your face. You can't see the whole thing. So you only see one color as opposed to the whole canvas. So now when you bring somebody that is outside, that can be objective and treat these players as the athletes that they are, that need to perform, that gives us an edge to compete for the World Cup, gives us an edge to compete in AFCON. So the local thing, I hear it, but has it actually worked? Has it? Because now when you talk about, when you bring an international coach, already SAFA gives them a bit of leeway, a bit of carte blanche. No, you can do this. You're talking about local coaches, they get strangled. If SAFA can bring a local coach and not strangle them, it can be a different type of story. But I don't think that will happen.
But wouldn't it be developing again? Wouldn't we be taking a step back in the sense that right now, I don't think we're sitting outside of Coach Pitso's the closest one. I don't think we're sitting with coaches that have been successful internationally. So wouldn't you still have to deal with the period where they get acclimatized to this? And would that take the national team back in that time?
Wait. Are you saying, what do you say that again? Are you saying getting an international coach?
No, I'm saying local coaches.
Yes.
Out of the pool of coaches that we have right now, do we have a coach well and truly that can plug in at a national team level and continue on
from
whatever Hugo Bruce was doing? Do we have somebody, or will we have to live with the fact that we have to wait another 4 to 8 years for that acclimatization to happen? Whether it's Coach Pitso, whether it's Coach Rulani, there will be a acclimatization period. Does it take us back?
Yeah, firstly, are we assuming that Hugo Bruce and SAFA have a plan? Or this is just Hugo Bruce's doing and being able to manage players, and it's working?
I want to say something unpopular. Give SAFA credit. They found Hugo Bruce.
Okay.
With Nersa Meets.
Sharp.
Didn't want him.
Cool.
Didn't know. They called him a plumber or whatever. They put him in. So let's assume that there is some sort of plan there.
Okay. So now we're looking for someone to carry on Hugo Bruce's plan? Is that what we're hoping for?
Yeah.
Because Hugo Bruce's plan is
off of the foundation, as Lindo was saying.
Yeah, look, these things have pros and cons. When you go internationally completely, he may not be able to take Hugo Bruce's plan, that is a South African context, understanding the players, and being able to then mesh that with an international thing. He may not be able to. So it may take too long to acclimatize the players, right? But I will still say, get someone international, someone objective, someone that has actually done something internationally. And even though there might be a problem, we might have to start from scratch. That could be a huge problem. That's the disadvantage. But there could be a possible advantage of being able to now compete at a level against the best, because iron sharpens iron. That's the thing. That's my chat.
Yeah, I think we also need a mentality coach, in my opinion, as well. Not a philosopher, not a tactician. We need somebody who's going to help us build the mentality of getting things over the line. I think that's the next progression, the evolution of Bafana Bafana as well. I think we got the development right. You need to give credit to Safa, number one. Give credit to Walter Steenbok. Give credit to each and every single development coach.
Wait, can we just quickly?
Yeah.
Do we want Hugo Bruce to renew his contract?
No. We if someone says,
Why not?
The reason why, if someone says they can't do it anymore, you believe them. When he says, this is the only time I need to go and spend time with my family, that means he's got nothing to give. And sometimes when you have nothing to give, there's absolutely nothing to give.
Is it nothing to give, or does he know his limits?
Then he's an intelligent old man if he knows his limits. Because as a man, you need to know your limits.
Yeah.
Then he's an intelligent man.
I think my only thing about the conversation there, it's tough because you know, the heart wants you to give it to somebody local.
Mm-hmm.
The heart wants you to
Yes.
build, and you know those fuzzy warm
Have our
feelings,
have our
have the
guy.
story.
Yeah.
But then my mind goes, the thing about Hugo Bruce that made Hugo Bruce so effective was that he had done this before with Cameroon. He won the tournament with Cameroon. So you bring him in because he's got knowledge of the terrain. He understands what's happening, understands where to go with it. Even the psychological stuff that Lindo you're speaking about, he's done that before within the context of Africa.
Yes.
Agents.
Yeah.
Involved.
All of those things. Well,
which was very
Safa
important.
also bent over there. But then my other,
Agents.
then
Bento
when I'm
was
looking
crazy.
at now going into the world, I would love somebody who's won it before.
Yes.
It would have been great. It would have been great if it was somebody who had won it in the African context. But we don't quite have that. The closest the Morocco coach, right? But again, the worry, just to balance this out, is that you Carlos Alberto Pereira yourself,
Yes.
former winner,
Yes.
comes in and then we're not sure
what the hell's
what's
going on?
happening. So I think that's the tough thing. But for me, I want us to look into the world because I want every move we make from this point on, from when even before Bruce, every move you make from this point on should be to create world-class everything. And some of the things are small. Like some of the things are, can the under-17s play a couple of games before they go to the World
Please,
Cup? You know?
George,
Wouldn't
can I
hurt.
also add before you continue?
Yeah.
Can we please have our junior national teams play international break as well?
Exactly.
Please.
Like
That's all
like
we're asking for.
small things like
Please.
that, even that is just like, guys, can we be active in that sense that are away from Hugo Bruce and away from the first team coach? Because I also think we put so much emphasis. Head coach we Bafana Bafana, so much emphasis. I don't think Pest. Can I be honest? I don't think you should care what's happening at under 23, under 20, under 17. You should have an input. You should maybe look at it, but your job is not to steer those teams. You get what I mean?
Yes.
Your job is maybe part of your job would be to say, Lindo, Ntwana, we under 17 coach Zwagala, come with me so that we can be aligned.
Yes.
But it's not my job to do your job. It's not my job to make sure that the under 17s are playing all of that stuff. So I think Hugo Bruce has done very well in that sense. My worry, again, is it feels like we were lucky. And it feels like it's going to play out the way our development plays out. I find an incredible player, but I'm unable to take him to the next step. I ride that thing. Like, for example, some people might argue and say, we rode Sundowns. You get what I mean?
Which is
Some
fair.
people might
is
who
fair.
are riding
Very fair.
Pirates. You get what I mean? Instead of, you get me?
We've built.
What happens if Pirates and Sundowns fall off in the next 3 years?
Then what? Yeah.
Already Sundowns is struggling. What are people saying? You get what I mean?
Shaky wakey. No, for sure.
Have we created the stuff? But then, just to end off this conversation, gents, if we're serious, I wanna put you guys on the spot.
Hey,
Always, you know,
Nzabo Mike Mangena, putting my head on the block.
I want one thing that if I put you in charge of SAFA today, you would change.
One thing.
One thing in order to make things better. It's in line with the conversation we're having. Could be anything, small or big.
One thing.
One thing. Not that.
Get rid of that.
That's too easy. That was too easy.
I didn't do.
No, it's not get rid of Terry Jordan. That's too easy. That's too easy.
I'm too.
I want us to like really think deeply. Lindo, you're a development mind. You love the development side. What would you improve that side?
On the development side.
Yeah, just one thing. If I put you in charge tomorrow and I said you can sign this into law, Sasa.
As a technical
African
director of SAFA, change one thing now.
Oh, okay. So, top of my head, it's just our ability to execute on the plans we've made. So, we may have plans, we may have whatever plans, 2030 and so on and so forth, but our ability to actually execute these things and communicate it with the greater South Africa.
Mara, give me a tangible thing, Khalifa.
The execution of it, because
How do you change
I believe is to put the right people in there to execute the plan. I think there may be a brain trust there, a think tank that has, okay, for them to come up with this long-term plan, 2020, people had to sit down and strategize and think about the thing and
But
sit.
they are tangible, Chief.
But to be able to get people
What does that look
that
like?
even to go to the private
Who
sector,
are the people?
to go to the private sector and get people that actually have executed on a multinational conglomerate level and say, we've got strategically this is how we're going to execute it and actually execute it.
So you're poaching a
Football is
project
mafia
manager
business.
or
Yes.
That will
something.
never happen.
Go into the big companies because SAFA is a big institution. It's the only institution
So
we
bring
have
in a CEO from
that,
business.
That
that
will never
actually be able to execute and be held
This is not
and be
tangible.
able to and be held accountable. Yes, and be held accountable for it is an important thing because I think we're communicating like, oh, we've got a plan, or things are happening, but as you are saying, these things are just but tangibly you don't see it.
So you want to, just to refine it, you want to say, let's move football away from being, it's run by a group of people that are inside football.
Yes.
You bring in people that are mercenaries. Their job is
Their job is perform, just like they expect athletes to perform.
Yeah, they've got KPIs.
They've got
what,
KPIs that we know
that are actually
that are actually on the SAFA website
okay.
that you can hold accountable and say, this, you didn't do this. You have your 4 years.
You can actually fire somebody. It's not a vote.
You have 4 years. Here's your 4 years. This is what we expect to be executed by the end of the 4 years.
Okay.
And in that 4 years, if you have not executed, bye-bye. Next. Simple.
Have you got yours, Lil?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I'll give mine. What do you think? The first thing I'll do is to create a space where all of the national team coaches sit together. All of. You have to all have influence and input on each other's things, which forces us to coordinate at a level that goes beyond just watching the under-17s. I want to see Hugo Bruce on the bench. Not necessarily as head coach, but as brains trust sitting with Vela Kumalo, let's say, for example. And they're saying, okay, when we're running this thing, I need all of the coaches to be together
Yes.
to share the stuff in order to share the things that are, I don't know, difficulties for each of them.
So knowledge,
Yeah.
a place of knowledge sharing.
But an actionable thing. So you are not under 17 coach alone. By virtue of being under 17 coach, you are an assistant coach of Bafana.
Okay.
You get what I mean? By virtue of it,
Yeah.
we have to all mesh together and then understand all the plans, all of us.
Okay.
I think I would actually, from a development perspective, and now that I'm thinking about it, I would actually bring back the technical director. I'm actually thinking about it now. I'd bring back Walter Steenbok to head the ship. There's 9 provinces in this country, and then I'll bring him maybe 3 technical directors if there's a thing like that. I'd bring in Farouk Khan, one who's going to be responsible for 3 provinces, and I'll bring in Osembata. Umatala, if not to Sembata, you can bring in a person like Floyd Mokhale, or you can bring in even in KZN maybe someone like Uzipo Dlangalala as well, who are co-technical directors. They can share the responsibility, but they've got one objective. And then exactly what George is doing, build a collaboration with Ama SAFA leagues. Make sure that there's collaborations in terms of coaching courses and all of those things, so that we can develop the same player, so that we can have more options for our junior national teams. And then with regards to ISAFA directly, ISAFA, Bafana, the one thing that I would change, if I get there, I would look for solutions as to how to get players playing in Europe more. I think we need more. I don't know if I'm making
What
sense.
does that look like?
I think we need more players that are playing global football, to be honest with you. I
But
think
what does that look like? Are you creating a database?
I would
Are
create,
you- what are you doing?
possibly I would
practically?
want to sit down with football clubs, with all the chairmen, with all the coaches rather, or technical directors of each and every single football club. And we can build strategies and policies that can help us at least maybe send 5 or 6 players to Europe, every season.
You create a system that is going to be a thing that bypasses clubs, where there's a database of everything, all the kids, every single person that plays soccer in the country.
Because it's critical thinking. Zabuya la. People, it's not easy to bagule mic.
No, I'm just
You
saying.
heard this question and then you thought about
yes.
it.
No,
And-
I'm going off
we must think on the spot. So that's what we thought.
That's
If you
what I'm
ask me
trying to
tomorrow,
help you.
no, Mamela, if you ask me tomorrow, I'm probably gonna come with a very
Yeah.
intelligent answer.
No,
but
no,
today,
no.
critical thinking,
But that's why-
is leading
That's
me
why I'm
here.
jumping in and I'm
This
like,
is all I have, my guy.
that's why I'm jumping in.
This is all I have.
No, that's why I'm jumping
Yeah.
in as just as a practical way of doing what you're
Yeah.
doing. I'd like a database of if you are going to play football in the country anywhere, there's somewhere where you sign up, where you get tracked. So we know exactly who scored 15 goals last season in the LFA that side, and make that be the hub for transfers. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Move all the management stuff to there. You no longer have to. Hey, they hate this, but you no longer have to go find an agent. We will agent for you.
Yabona ke, you're causing a disruption.
We will agent for you.
Shugumisa.
Or we'll hire all the guys, absorb
Yeah.
Farouk Khan, all of those, absorb everybody into one system and say, nice system here. Okay. But anyway, I just wanted to put you guys on the spot. Hanyane there. Guys, Spresile, now it's up to you guys to join us by telling us in the comments what you think. Remember, like I always say, this is not a place where we believe we're right or that we're right. It's a place where we put things on the table so that you guys can join us in having conversations. And whether you are adding something or maybe you're critiquing something we said, we welcome it, because any conversations that I had here are to make football a little bit better. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share this, man.
Please.
The family group, development in the country, it's fine. As long as these things get shared, because the ultimate goal of this is for us to change conversations around our football
Don't forget to
in the
subscribe.
country. Should you like, share, comment, and subscribe?
We should be on 10.
Please, it wouldn't hurt.
Please join the press. Join the press. Shout out to Sport Pesa, the sponsor of the show, who makes sure that this is possible, and also Omni Audio. Thank you for partnering with us to make this show possible to hear. Guys, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye-bye.